I'm Julia Gatos.
I'm Mackenzie Mahan.
And the assessment we chose was the TERA3, which stands for the Test of Early Reading Ability. And this is an assessment tool to assess young children's mastery of early reading skills with subtests in alphabet conventions and meaning.
This assessment is appropriate for ages 3 years and 6 months to 8 years and 6 months, which is pre-K to 2nd grade, and it is a diagnostic assessment which allows for progress monitoring.
There are 5 purposes of this assessment. The first one is to identify those children who are significantly below their peers in reading development and may be candidates for early intervention. This step is important for providing appropriate intervention and documenting the needs for special or alternative services for administrative purposes. The second one is to identify the strengths and weaknesses of children. Making note of performance differences among the 3 subtests help to make a proper diagnosis and is essential for planning early intervention programs.
The third purpose is to document children's progress as consequences of the early intervention reading programs. So this provides reading specialists, educational diagnosticians, early childhood educators, teachers, and administrators with the means for evaluating a student's progress in special programs. The fourth purpose is to serve as a measure in research studying reading development in young children. The Tera 3 can be used in any research that requires standardized norm reference tests. So tests that are used to study the relationship between reading ability and different aspects of educational achievement, or how efficiently specialized methods are designed to improve reading ability. The last purpose is to accompany other assessment techniques. A comprehensive evaluation requires the use of multiple measures and data sources because no one assessment technique or test can provide a complete picture of a child's ability. Okay, so for this example, I'm going to be the examiner administering the test, and Julia is going to be the student who's taking the test. Prior to administering the test, you should become familiar with the exam and go through the examiner's manual, which gives you any information you might need to know. As far as scoring goes, as I'm giving Julia the test, I will be filling this out, and it's very simple. It's just a score of 1 or 0. So a 1 means that they got it right, and a 0 means that they did not. And then you'll just write it down as you're going through the questions. So I'm going to show Julia the questions. She'll give me the answer, and then I'll write if she got a 1 or a 0. Alright, so this question says, using letter names, which one says XYZ? Show me where it says XYZ.
XYZ.
Okay, so she got that correct. So then I would give her 1 point for that. Point to the letter B.
B.
What letter is this? Tell me its name.
B.
Continue. And then it says to continue until the child has named one correctly, and then to go on to the next item. So she got this one correct. If they don't know that one, you can keep moving on through the different letters and see if they can get any of them correct. The next question is going to be the same thing with different letters, so we'll move on. Point to the picture that starts with the letter C. Okay, she got that one correct. That's going to be another point. So this is a number one, or it has numbers and letters, and it says which one is a letter. Show me the letter.
1.
Okay, so she got that one wrong. So that means that she gets a 0 for that question. We're going to also do some from test booklet A because this was form B and each one has a different purpose.
But if you're using form A, there's another form to go with the form A, so that you wouldn't use this one, you would get another one.
Yeah, different scoring papers for each test. But I just want to show you what some of the questions in the different forms look like. So let's go to this one. What is the first letter in apple?
D.
No, apple.
Baseball.
Okay, so she clearly does not know the answer to that one and would be getting a 0 for that question. Let's see. Okay, here's a different one. Run your fingers across the words. Which words say cat?
All of them.
Show me the word that correctly spells cat.
Cat.
Good. Okay, so she figured it out and she'd get a 1 point for that one. So that basically shows you how you would administer the test and how the scoring would work as you're giving them the test.
So the Tera 3 results are reported in raw scores, which are the 1 to 0 that we talked about. You calculate the age, the grade level, the equivalence, percentile scores, standard scores, and confidence scores for each subtest. And a reading quotient is calculated by adding the scores from the 3 subtests and using a table to convert the sum to a reading quotient. And the reading quotient is also reported as a percentile. There are multiple positives about the Tera 3, and the first one is it's available for deaf or hard-hearing individuals with auditory impairments. The second one is students have as much time as possible to complete this test. There are realistic colored pictures, and the correct answers are noted in the examiner's manual and are easily converted using tables provided in the manual.
Some drawbacks of the Tier 3 is that it is only available in English, so if you are an ELL student, you cannot use this form of assessment for reading. Another one is that children can easily just recognize certain pictures without being able to actually read them. So we had this example that it asked the children to point to which one is Jell-O, and they might just be able to recognize the Jell-O image rather than reading that it says Jell-O on it. The third drawback that we had is that certain words they might not need to read, they just might have an association with the word. So for example, this one says choose 2 words that correspond with the word red, and so the correct answer would be green and black, but we thought if they had a red pencil then they might associate red with pencil rather than the other color words. So this assessment can be used in connection with other assessments. Some ways that you can do this is with a checklist that indicates a child's strengths and weaknesses across several categories of performance. So you can use those checklists to determine whether or not they might need to take this test. Another thing is to keep a portfolio of the child's work over the year. And the last one would be to have summative reports based on teacher observations that can be shared with anyone involved in the child's educational progress.